So go ahead and start recording. Good evening, folks. Welcome to the Tuesday, April 13th edition of the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee, BPAC for short. This is another virtual workshop. As you know, we're not meeting in person for the time being. My name is Kevin Walford. I'm with the Miami-Dade TPO, and I'll be the coordinating the meeting as we go along. Next slide, please. Okay, this is how we're going to run the meeting. I'm going to go over the rules of engagement. And then we're going to have three items. The TPO's 2021 Transportation Alternatives Rankings. That's going to be presented by Oscar Cameo of the TPO. Number three is going to be a presentation by BPAC member Eric Toberg about bicycle facilities in Southwest Miami-Dade County. And then the fourth presentation will be a project update report from FDOT District 6, Tiffany Gerke. Next workshop will be on May 11th. Next slide. Oh, I think okay. As we welcome back Hank Sanchez, but he's not here yet. He said he should be here about 5:45. So when he gets in, we can come back to the slide. He's been off the BPAC since the November elections. All right, next slide, rules of engagement. I know some of you have seen this before, but I'm going to go over them again. This workshop is being held virtually and is being recorded. If you experience technical difficulties, please contact Lisa Wan, both at the email and at the phone number you see on your screen, so that she can be able to help you. All attendees will remain muted throughout the duration of this workshop. If you wish to provide a comment, please use the raise hand button. The chair will first acknowledge you and then your microphone will be unmuted. Please proceed by providing your full name, agency represented, and then your comment. Your microphone will remain unmuted until the comment has been fully addressed. As you may or may not know, the BPAC does not have a chair. That position is vacant. So we do have a vice chair, Mike Fleming. But if he is not here today, then I will be the one doing the chair duties. In compliance with all applicable rules and regulations, no actions or motions shall be permitted. Discussion shall be limited to matters listed in the published workshop agenda. Permissible discussions include presentations, question and answers, comments related to the presentation, and any committee member deviating from these guidelines will be reminded as to limitations of any such discussion. Please hold comments until all presentations are concluded. And I see we have a new person coming in. Stay on that screen for a second, Lisa. Let's see who the new person just came in. Their name is, if it's a BPAC member. No, it's not. Okay, next slide. All right, so the first presentation we're going to be having is the TPO's 2021 Transportation Alternatives Ranking. It's going to be done by Oscar Cameo, and this is going to be a combination of, you're going to be seeing items on the screen, and also Lisa will be running a Google Earth visual at the same time. You all received this as part of your agenda packages back on last week, and then on Thursday I sent out additional information that you were able to look at the applications for each of these items, so you could look at them in more detail, and so that tonight you'd have more of a review for you to make your decision as opposed to seeing it for the first time. All right, Oscar, you're up. Go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Kevin, for that introduction. And I didn't get the memo to wear a suit, so I apologize if I'm not dressed up enough for this meeting. This is a yearly event. The advisory committees are asked to rank projects that are submitted for funding through the FDOT's Transportation Alternatives Program. It's a discretionary program. Last year, for example, there were actually only 10 applicants last year, and they ended up being all funded to the tune of about $7 million. Unfortunately, as most of you know, FDOT has taken quite a hit with the lessening of the local option gas tax and other revenues. So I don't see them going above that figure, but those numbers have yet to be determined. This year, we have 23 eligible projects or proposals from different applicants. Number 22 was withdrawn from the city of Pinecrest. So What we'll be asking of you today is to select your top 5 projects and fill out this ranking sheet. The one you like the most, you place on number 1. The one you like second most, you place number 2, and so forth, until you select 5 projects on the sheet. The best way to get them to me is, I know Kevin sent out the electronic Excel spreadsheet. If you could fill those in and send them back. I prefer you send them to Kevin, and Kevin in turn will send them to me, because since most of you correspond with him on a regular basis, it's easier that way. Just spelling my last name sometimes can be difficult, and it may get lost in the electronic mail. If you want to copy me, that's fine. But you can send them to Kevin, and he in turn will send them to me. And with that, we can also, if you have a printer, you could write the numbers in, scan them, send them. If you don't have any printer capabilities or Excel access, you can send an email to Kevin indicating which applicant number and name of project you wish to be ranked. And that in turn will serve as your ballot. And we can begin. We're going to do what's called on Google Earth. We're going to look at an overhead of each of these projects, beginning with the downtown Coral Gables water quality improvements, which is shown here. And I'm going to read a brief description to you. Pollution prevention and abatement to waterway in Biscayne Bay as a result of roadway stormwater runoff. The existing drainage system along the corridors are part of a larger system that ultimately discharges to Riviera Waterway. And they're asking for $1 million for this, which is the maximum you can ask for under this program. Applicant number 2 is the city of Florida City, further south. This is essentially where the eventual BRT will end on Palm Drive. Florida City recently conducted a study through the TPO, Mobility Hub Study, and identified challenges to accessibility and connectivity in the area immediately surrounding the Florida City Bus Rapid Transit Station. This project will address the short-term quick fixes that can significantly enhance safe access to the station and focuses on transit core with the priority given to the improvements near schools. They too asked for $1 million, and they're contributing $700,000 themselves. Applicant number 3, City of Hialeah. My old stomping grounds. West 4th Avenue frontage road pedestrian and bike lane improvement. To add a sidewalk on the east side of West 4th Avenue along the canal and provide a bike share lane from West 49th Street to West 66th Place. The funds requested are $765,000, and they'll be contributing an additional $140,000 or more for a total project cost of $918,000. Applicant number 4 is also the City of Hialeah. It's a section 12, subsection on their planning development, this big square, sidewalk improvement. Add sidewalk and ADA ramp improvements on all corners from West 12th Avenue to West 8th Avenue and from West 32nd Street to West 37th Street, that quadrant shown here. They're asking for $252,000 and contributed an additional $50,000 for a total of $302,000. Now applicant number 5 is the City of Miami. This applicant submitted the I-395 underdeck Bay Walk connection Northeast 13th Street from Biscayne Boulevard to Biscayne Bay to connect the underdeck and Heritage Trail to the Bay Walk. The City of Miami intends to expand the lease agreement with FDOT to provide the connection from the Bay Walk to Northeast 13th Street. The connection will be a wide path with landscape elements to provide a safe and attractive connection to the sidewalk. They're asking for $608,000 for a total of $914,000 project. Someone at a previous meeting had asked me if it goes over or underneath the highway. It goes underneath. Number 6 is also the City of Miami. The Miami River Greenway, Northwest 19th Avenue to Northwest 17th Avenue. Provide for a publicly accessible pathway for bicyclists and pedestrians in concert with the roadway reconstruction of Northwest North River Drive. This public pedestrian and bicycle trail along the historic Miami River will connect diverse multicultural neighborhoods, public parks, residences, historical sites, businesses, and cultural attractions around the waterway. They're asking for $1 million of a $3.9 million total effort. City of Miami Beach, applicant number 7, Meridian Avenue Shared Use Path. To enhance the bicycle and pedestrian network in Miami Beach in compliance with the adopted bicycle pedestrian master plan. The project consists of final design and construction of a 10-foot shared use path on the west side of Meridian Avenue from Dade Boulevard to 28th Street. They are seeking $701,000 for a project that's estimated to cost $843,000. Applicant number 8, City of North Miami. Titled Pedestrian Bridge Replacement over C8 Canal, or it's also called the Biscayne Canal. Replace the existing pedestrian bridge over South Florida Water Management District C8 Canal, Biscayne Canal. The existing bridge is located between Northeast 2nd Avenue and Griffin Boulevard, approximately 1,400 feet south of the existing Northeast 135th Street vehicular bridge. They're asking for $700,000 of the $800,000 total project cost. Applicant number 9, City of South Miami. This is the South Miami Bridge construction to provide a safe elevated route for non-drivers to travel between the northwest and southeast sides of a 6-lane arterial US 1 through the development of a pedestrian bridge. They're asking for $400,000. The total project cost is $5.4 million. They've received money already before through this program to do the other parts of this effort. Applicant number 10 is also City of Miami. However, we don't have an area for them because it's a culvert replacement on Southwest 64th Court over Twin Lakes Canal. To replace the structurally deficient corrugated metal pipe culvert located at Southwest 64th Court within the Twin Lakes Canal in South Miami with a new structure, thus providing greater connectivity between the Manor Lane neighborhood and the existing Metro Rail and businesses in the area and promoting pedestrian safety. They're asking for $1 million of a $1.25 million effort. Applicant number 11, City of West Miami. West Miami traffic safety improvements to implement the recommendations of a Smart Move study, which assessed traffic and crash conditions in the city at various locations. The project will also improve safety to and from the elementary school by adding traffic circles and crosswalks. They are seeking $415,000 of a $508,000 total project cost. Applicant number 12, which is the Department of Transportation and Public Works. Commodore Trail missing link, road dye and buffer lane lanes along South Miami Avenue to improve safety and connectivity for bicyclists that use the Commodore Trail for commuting and recreational purposes. The Commodore Trail is a highly active trail that extends from the Coca Plum Circle in Coral Gables to Alice Wainwright Park. DTPW is asking for $999,000 for this. Applicant number 13, also Department of Transportation and Public Works, or DTPW. First last mile connection to the Aventura Brightline Station and the Aventura Bus Terminal to provide bicycle connectivity along West Dixie Highway to the Aventura Brightline Station and the Aventura Bus Terminal. It also aims to improve bicycle travel from the Olita Park through the city of North Miami Beach to Reynolds Park to the Miami-Dade Broward County line. DTPW is asking for $1 million of a $2.2 million effort. Applicant 14 is also DTPW. Highlighting conflict points along Southwest 137th Avenue bicycle lanes. To highlight conflict points along the existing bicycle lanes of Southwest 137th Avenue from Southwest 344th Street to Waterstone Boulevard, approximately Southwest 309th Street. while improving the riding surface for cyclists and vehicles. Southwest 137th Avenue is a multi-lane road with a posted speed of 40 miles per hour. They are seeking $943,000. Number 15 is Miami Shores Village. Intersection Improvement Project. Improve ADA compliant crosswalks along the village's local roadways. To improve pedestrian safety along the two main roadways within the village that lead to local schools and a community park. They are seeking $200,000 of a $218,000 effort. Number 16 is Miami-Dade County Parks, Recreation, and Open Spaces Department, or PROS. This is the Ludlam Trail West Flagler Street Trail Overpass. To construct a shared use bridge overpass across West Flagler Street, Florida Department of Transportation right-of-way located west of Southwest 69th Avenue along the Ludlam Trail corridor. The proposed bridge will span approximately 100 linear feet. They're asking for $1 million of a $14 million project. Number 17, Town of Cutler Bay. Cutler Bay Southwest 82nd Avenue roadway improvements. To implement traffic calming techniques along Southwest 82nd Avenue from Southwest 184th Street to Old Cutler Road. Plan improvements include the installation of one traffic roundabout, improved drainage as required, new sidewalks to eliminate gaps along Southwest 184th Street, ADA ramps, and painting of bicycle sharrows along the project path. They are seeking $800,000 of a $952,000 effort. Applicant number 18, Town of Miami Lakes. Miami Lakes Business Park East Pedestrian and ADA Improvements Phase 1 project. Design, permit, and construct new 6-foot sidewalks and pedestrian safety related infrastructure in compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act to safely connect people to jobs, industries, shared use path on Northwest 139th Street from Northwest 60th Avenue to Northwest 57th Court. Northward to Northwest 142nd Street, including Northwest 59th Avenue, Northwest 58th Court, Northwest 58th Avenue, and Northwest 57th Court. They are seeking $994,000. Number 19 is the Town of Surfside. This is the pedestrian safety infrastructure improvements to improve and enhance pedestrian crossing locations in the town of Surfside. Specifically, signalized lighted crosswalks and lighted signs per MUTCD at State Road A1A, Harding Avenue, and 89th Street and 90th Street intersections circled there. They're seeking $1 million of a $1.2 million effort. Applicant number 20 doesn't have a Google Earth because it's a University of Miami School of Medicine and it's a county-wide effort. Sustainability and expansion of the Walk Safe and Bike Safe programs for K through 8th grades in Miami-Dade County. Educate elementary and middle school age children and families in the importance of walking and pedocycling safety and injury protection. To sustain and expand the Walk Safe and Bike Safe programs in Miami-Dade County, $903,870 is what they are requesting. Applicant 21, Village of Palmetto Bay. Palmetto Bay Subbasin 11 improvements to help eliminate flooding to specified roadways and the connected side streets in the Village of Palmetto Bay Subbasin 11, which is roughly 48-acre area of a single-family homes and commercial development. They are seeking $1 million of a $1.5 million effort. Applicant number 22 is the one that was withdrawn by Village of Pinecrest. And applicant 23, which is also Village of Pinecrest, Southwest 82nd Avenue. Complete Streets Planning Project. to conduct a planning process with the residents and stakeholders on the best form of complete streets for this corridor on Southwest 82nd Avenue from 120th Street to 136th Street. And they are seeking $75,000 for that effort. And that completes my description of each of these applicants. I do have the complete packages here, and of course, they're available online. If anyone has any questions.
Kevin, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, Hank.
So I apologize for coming in late, and hello to everybody, and thank you for letting me get back on the BPAC after I resigned. It's good to be back.
Yeah,
Kevin,
we even had a slide for you at the beginning of the meeting, but you missed it, but here it is now.
okay. Oh, thank you. Kevin, it's no secret that I have a very prominent interest in the Commodore Trail. So how do we handle this? Am I allowed to vote on any of these, just not vote on the Commodore Trail? What's the procedure?
That is a good question. I think I'll give that to Oscar because he's been doing this. I do not know if we have any things where somebody has to recuse himself because of personal interest. How have you done these? How have you done this in the past, Oscar?
No, since they're not official votes, they're casting of ballots, although it seems like a vote. Because we have DTPW members on the Florida Department of Transportation evaluation criteria, and they vote on their own. We also have some cities that vote for themselves also. So this happens in these type of applications. So the short answer is no. Hank, you're good to go and vote your Commodore Trail number 1, and there's no violation.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody have any questions? Brett? I know Eric sent his comments in, but as for the record, Eric, I'd still like you to at least mention some of them at the workshop. Brett, you're going to say something?
No, sir, I have no questions at this time. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. And you saw that the application materials for the Miami River Greenway project were available for you to pick up, correct?
Yes, and I appreciate that.
All right.
Okay, so if everybody could please fill out their forms and send them to Kevin tonight at the latest. Unfortunately, we tried to get this in at the last meeting, but we didn't have the Google Earth ready. So, and today's the deadline. So if you guys could send those in, be greatly appreciated.
And remember, you only have to rank the top 5. You don't need to rank all 22.
Yeah, just vote. Your favorite one gets a 1, your second favorite gets a 2, and so on until you rank 5.
Let me just double check to make sure nobody else has joined the meeting. And no, it's still the same 3 members so far: Eric, Hank, and Brett. All right.
Okay, so once I receive, okay. So you only need to be present to participate.
What was that?
You do not need to be present to participate since you sent them out earlier anyway.
Right.
No.
And everybody was told they had until today at the meeting or afterwards. So whatever emails I get tonight before midnight, those will make it in. All right. Thank you. Then no other comments being asked. Thank you very much, Oscar.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we have bicycle facilities in Southwest Miami-Dade County by Eric Tolberg, who's one of our BPAC members. All right, so Eric and Lisa, you take the technology.
Eric, would you like to start sharing your screen?
I believe I have. Hold on. Let me. Lit. Can you see anything yet?
No, not your screen yet.
Sorry, I have to get out of it. I can't kill it.
let me stop sharing and then you can start sharing your screen.
Oh, here, end show. I've got it. Okay. Okay, share screen.
Yep,
Have you-
we see your, yep, perfect.
Perfect.
Okay, this is my presentation on Chrome Path and some other facilities in Homestead and Florida City. Chrome Path is 18.6 miles along Southwest 177th Avenue from Southwest 8th Street to Southwest 296th Street. This goes up all along the west side of Miami-Dade County. Access is very difficult. I will give you some tips on how to get to the path. I will also point out that the proposed Black Creek Trail, Section B, phases 1 and 2, will connect to the path in the next few years. Lastly, I'll talk about some bike facilities in Homestead and Florida City. And I'll also talk about the maps that were in your agenda package. Okay, this is Chrome Path. It goes from Southwest 8th Street to Southwest 296th Street, 18.6 miles. Can you see my cursor? You see at 136th Street, it crosses from the east to the west side at the Southwest 136 westbound traffic light. Access is very difficult, especially in the northern section. We'll talk about some access points, the pilot truck stop at Southwest 8th Street, dirt road and canal at Southwest 42nd Street, Southwest 88th Street, which is Kendall Drive. That is really only for cars. There's no parking. There's a gravel road that's next to the C1W canal and there's parking West District, Kendall West District Park. And there is a dirt road from 136th Street right here. Okay, south of 136th Street, you must cross Chrome Avenue to get to the path on the west side. Black Creek Trail Section B, phases 1 and 2 will connect Chrome Path to Southwest 120th Street and Southwest 157th Avenue and West Kendall District Park in a few years. So what I was talking about is that the west side is opposite from where most people live. So if you're going to connect to it from the southern part, you will have to cross Chrome Avenue first. This is the Pilot Travel Center at the southeast corner of Chrome Avenue and Southwest 8th Street. This is an aerial view looking south. You see south, north, west, and east. At this point, there are bike lanes in every direction. There are bike lanes 2.3 miles to Southwest 153 Place. There are bike lanes on Chrome Avenue all the way up to Okeechobee Road, 14.3 miles to the north. And there are also paved shoulders, which are like bike lanes, 17.8 miles to Shark Valley. That's a part of Everglades National Park. Now, I will warn you that these are not for the faint-hearted. These are on 55-mile-an-hour roads. So unless you're an experienced cyclist, I suggest you don't ride on the bike lanes. There are also bike lanes that parallel the path all the way to 296th Street. This is a good place to stop if you've got 1 or 2 cars. But if you have a lot of cars, there is limited parking. There's just a few parking spaces here, and the rest of it is for the business, the Pilot truck stop. So if you've got 1 or 2 cars, fine, go and stop here. If you've got 20 cars, use another place. Here's another place that you can access the Chrome Path. This is the view west at the entrance to the dirt road along the north side of the canal in line with Southwest 42nd Street. That's Bird Road. It's 1.5 miles to Chrome Path from Southwest 162 Avenue. You can see Southwest 162 Avenue there. This is Bird Road. And you can see that there is no place to park at this point. So either you're going to have to drive there. I would recommend a 4-wheel drive vehicle because the road is very rough, but you can ride your bicycle to the Chrome Path from this point. This is from Bird Road and 162 Avenue. This is Kendall Drive. This is the view west from Southwest 88th Street, 500 foot east of the Chrome Path. Notice the very narrow shoulder on the side of the road, which disappears at the guardrail, and there's no place to park at the shoulder. Now, I understand there are plans to build a sidewalk or path on the south side of the road, but there's no place that you can access the Chrome Path yet. This is the view west from Southwest 157th Avenue along the gravel road south of the C1W Canal, which is 2 miles to Chrome Path. No parking is allowed at the entrance right here. There's a 35-inch gap next to the gate. This is West Kendall District Park on the left. It has a paved jogging path and grass parking area that you can use to park to access the Chrome Path. This is an aerial view of the West Kendall District Park. Notice the grass parking area over here. You can put a lot of cars there and then take the jogging path up to the gravel path that goes to Chrome Avenue. So if you've got a lot of people that you want to have a ride, you go onto the Chrome Path, you park on this grass parking area just off of 157th Avenue, and you can access the gravel road to Chrome Path. This is next to the C1W Canal. This is very close to Southwest 120th Street and roughly in line with 112th Avenue, 112th Road. Another place you can access Chrome Path is from Southwest 136th Street and Southwest 162 Avenue. It's 1.5 miles to Chrome Path, and you can see what the road is like. Lots of potholes or depressions, but you can drive along it, and there's a place to park at the end. This is the last place that you can intersect Chrome Path on the east side. If you go further south, you'll have to cross Chrome Avenue to get to the path. This is the aerial of the future Black Creek Trail Section B. As you can see, this is 157th Avenue going north and south here. The path will go north along the east side of the canal and then west along the north side of the canal until it reaches Chrome Path here in green, in dark. So this is probably one of the best places to access the path, but it's not built yet. It'll probably take it 2 or 3 years before it's finished. Again, here's the 136th Street road that goes from 162 Avenue to Chrome Path. This is another potential connection to Chrome Path. which is 2 miles long along the C103 or Maori Canal. This has not been built yet, but this is a possible path. I hope you're listening, Mark Heinecke, along the C103 canal. It's 2 miles long. There is one difficult spot because the connection to the South Dade Trail or M-Path is about 5 foot lower. So you're going to have a slight ramp to get up to the M-Path, which is shown in green there. Again, this is a possible path in the future, and this would connect the Chrome Path to the M-Path, which would create a huge loop in western Miami-Dade County. This is what the path looks like. This is at mile marker 4.0 at the south end. Notice that there are bike lanes all along Chrome Avenue. So if you're an experienced cyclist and you don't want to mess with pedestrians, etc., then you can take those bike lanes. They have inverted rumble strips to remind the cars when they get out of their lane. This is Southwest 296th Street where the path ends. And this is the end of the path at 296th Street. There is a rebuilt sidewalk to Southwest 312th Street, but unfortunately, the bike lanes from this point to 312th Street were removed when Chrome Avenue was widened. These are some other bike facilities in southern Miami-Dade County. Can you see the A there? That is Southwest 328th Street. It's 1.4 miles from US 1 to Southwest 162 Avenue, and that has both bike lanes and sidewalks. The second one is B, which is only 0.4 of a mile long, which also has bike lanes and sidewalks. But this is important because it is part of the Biscayne Everglades Greenway. The Biscayne Everglades Greenway path is shown in yellow, and you can see it comes up here and then along Palm Drive. This is where it uses Section B and goes to Biscayne National Park and then west to Everglades National Park. In your agenda package, you got 4 different bike maps. You got one of downtown Miami and Brickell, one of southeast Miami-Dade County from the Miami Airport to Homestead Air Reserve Base. We just talked about the Chrome Path from Southwest 8th Street to Southwest 296th Street, and so it includes all of Southwest Miami-Dade County. And finally, there's one of South Central Miami-Dade County, which goes north up to Southwest 248th Street. That's the end of my presentation. Are there any questions?
Sorry, I didn't see a hand raised, but this is Tiffany with FDOT.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, excellent presentation. And I do want to emphasize that on Kendall Drive, we are looking into the feasibility of a shared use path on the south side of Kendall Avenue, especially, Kendall Drive, to especially though to connect to the sidewalk that's existing there, but preferably if we can, I'd like to see about a continued and cohesive shared use path. Something that would, preferred for us is something that would mimic the Chrome Path to, again, for continuity's sake. I also wanted to say that I've just received a request and we are going to start looking at a more protected, perhaps a shared use path in the western, well, I guess not westernmost, but just east of Chrome Path and along 8th Street to see if we can create a safer connection there. There, in that
Okay.
picture you had
Yes.
with, yep,
You see right there, 8th Street.
yep. That segment there, that one to 157th. We especially want to look at that and see if we can create a safer connection to
Yes.
to Chrome Path.
Yes, there are bike lanes there, but as I said, they're on a 55-mile-an-hour road, so they're not
Yeah.
suitable for uh, anyone but expert cyclists. I would hope that they could build at least an 8-foot sidewalk and preferably a 10-foot path.
Well, yeah, and also, I mean, sidewalk is okay, but I'd prefer if we use asphalt just for the smooth surface. For me, when I bike on the sidewalk, at least for me, it's not the most comfortable thing. You've got the bump, 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 bump as you hit the ridges. So, so if we could, again, I'm going to be looking into something that's more of a, hopefully a cohesive and something that's, you know, that goes along and kind of plays off the Chrome Path. But yeah, so, but excellent presentation, very informative.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Anyone else?
Yes,
Go ahead, Brad.
me?
Oh, sorry, Hank. Go ahead.
Hank?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Eric for doing that. That was very helpful. There's a lot that I didn't know about because I don't normally ride down south and I don't normally ride on the Chrome Path. I think I've been at the Chrome Path. I have not biked on it. To me, it's sort of like an empty house. It's a very well-built house. It's there. It's going to be there for a very long time. And now it needs some furniture. I think that to extend the metaphor a bit, the furniture it needs is the connectivity. So I think a lot of thought needs to be put into how to make the connectivity better. That 8th Street and Chrome is just, wow. Who would go there on a bike in his right mind? I wouldn't. So I don't know what can be done about that. Maybe nothing. Maybe the options are to get onto the path somewhere else. But I'm thinking also that I don't know if anyone is thinking about this or who might be thinking about this, that adding some amenities along the path that make it more fun to visit. I don't know what that would be.
Well, the thing with the Chrome Path versus some of the others is the Chrome Path is an FDOT facility, so it's maintained by FDOT, which is a transportation agency, versus some of the others that are maintained by Miami-Dade Parks and Recreation, which they're more inclined and more capable of maintaining some of the additional amenities. But it could be a conversation for a partnership. So that
It should be.
Yeah, that could be.
It should be.
Yeah.
It really should be. I don't know what FDOT does in other places to make places welcoming and friendly and fun to visit. Maybe that's just not relevant to FDOT, but
it's more or less, yeah. It's more or less of the tools that we have available, and also what the very definition of transportation and what kind of we're limited to doing because of the funding dollars that we receive. Because it's all through like your license and registration and gas tax, it's limited on how that money can be spent.
If I can jump in here, we really thank the District 6 for listening to Tom and myself, who went to all the public meetings. We said we needed a path, and you listened to us. And I think at the same time, you were becoming more interested in putting in bicycle and pedestrian facilities. And so this is a great example of what can be done if FDOT's on the right track.
Absolutely. And the thing is, it's just we can notice our hurdles, and there's no such thing as a that's it, you know, that's all we can do. But we do have the capability of having good partnerships, and that's what we have to look toward to add some of these additional amenities. So I hear you, Hank. I hear you loud and clear. And we'll keep that in mind. We'll keep having the conversations.
Well,
Thank you.
the amenities could be put in with all the connections. The Black Creek Trail I just talked about, the path along the C-103 or Maori Canal down here, the path along the Southwest 42nd Street Canal. All those places, they could be very nice wild wilderness trails, and then you can use the Chrome Path to connect them. So I do point out that they have put in a few trees, but they're few and far between.
All right.
I actually was going to mention that landscaping is coming in soon. I think that you probably guys have seen little notes about the landscaping being reviewed. But that landscaping, I'll give you a clear response as far as when it will be implemented and when it will be constructed, but that is coming soon.
Okay, are you ready to move on?
All right. Anybody else? I think it was just Tiffany. So thank you very much, Eric. Wonderful presentation. And the next one, let's give the screen back to Lisa. Next one is Tiffany. So Tiffany, you're back on the podium.
See if you guys can see me maybe. So I'll make this presentation short and sweet. So this is our the previous month review of different projects within our ERC system. That's what we call it. It's electronic review system. And we can go to the next slide, please. And so again, not that many, because what I'm trying to do for your all's sake and for mine, so that we can actually, I'm trying to get ahead of the projects as much as I can. So that way I can present as many as possible before the comment due date, so that your comments can actually be implemented within mine. Unfortunately, the sequencing of things here didn't allow for that with quite a few of these, because when the review came in was after our last meeting, and then when the due date was before this one. But you can see here, and actually I'm going to move my screen a little bit here, like that. Okay, so a lot of these, when you notice, again, I know I've mentioned this multiple times, when it's resurfacing, the point of the resurfacing project, or sometimes we call them triple R projects, the main purpose of those projects are to upgrade and maintain the asphalt, so that the asphalt doesn't deteriorate beyond a certain point, so it's still rideable and still drivable. So, and then other projects, though, like the scoping, like we've got a landscaping and we have LAP. And LAP, again, that's through our local agency program. And that's when we kind of give a grant to a partnering agency to provide a facility. What actually was mentioned previously with the TAP applications is something like that. So the State Road 9 and Northwest 27th Avenue, from north of Northwest 116th to south of Northwest 112th. This again is just your pretty typical resurfacing project. So within the resurfacing projects, like I said, the main point is to upgrade the asphalt, but also it is by law that we upgrade the crosswalks to ADA compliance, and that we do sidewalk repair, and that we also enhance the crosswalks at major intersections, so that it's a high emphasis crosswalk markings, those big bold white blocks that you see on a crosswalk. So it's those are all required, and those are something that's done in all of our resurfacing projects. unless we absolutely cannot for some reason. Perhaps the right of way is very limited, it's very tight. But otherwise, so you'll see that in the, you'll see that in the Northwest 27th Avenue. You'll also see something similar in the A1A Collins Avenue from 44th Street to 4700 block. Very similar upgrades, upgrading ADA curb ramps, push button, sidewalk repair. And you'll also see that in the other two resurfacings, the A1A Collins Avenue and Indian Creek Drive project, and the State Road A1A Collins Avenue from north of 26th Street to 44th Street. There is a section on State Road A1A Collins Avenue from north of 26th Street to 44th Street that I'll be mentioning later, that kind of a feature that I'm excited to see. I hope to see more of these type of treatments within our everyday resurfacing projects as well as our other projects, but I'll show you that in a bit. We also have a landscape project on Northwest 7th Avenue from Little River Drive to south of Northwest 118th Street. And then the one I didn't mention here was a safety project on Collins Avenue and at 189th Street. And this is a proposed signalized pedestrian crossing. And then we can go to the next slide. I'll mention and show you more about the pedestrian bridge. And then I know I've shown this one multiple times, but it's not 100%. And I'm very excited about for this project. I know many of you are, is the Collins Avenue and north of Hollover Inlet, that stretch of Collins Avenue that's right in front of a Hollover Park. This is going to include buffered bike lanes with green conflict zones. It's going to have a shared use path along the water side. And then also it's going to have enhanced crosswalk. There's actually an additional mid-block crossing and ADA curb ramps. This is a really exciting project. I'll show you a little depiction of one section of it, but if you're interested in seeing all the plans, I can definitely send those to you. And again, it is at 100%, so it's pretty much final, which is good because I'm excited for it, and I think we have a lot of good features included in it. And then we have a bridge repair project at Port Boulevard. We also saw within our review process, we saw an operation project. It's to improve traffic flow by modifying the signals and adding additional turn lanes at Chrome Avenue and Kendall Drive. So that's something similar to what this is at a location that within what Eric was mentioning, and it's a location that it overlaps with what we're looking at for the shared use path. But this project will not impact that. This project will not include any of the things that we're looking into, but this is a separate one for traffic operations. We also have a lap project it's a Northwest 59th Avenue roadway extension and redevelopment project. This project adds 5 to 6 foot sidewalks, channel markings along Northwest 153rd Street, Northwest 60th Ave, Northwest 151st Street, Northwest 57th Court in Miami Lakes. And then there's, of course, the South Dade Busway. We got to see kind of a rendering of what the transit stations would kind of look like. Nothing too detailed at this point. And then the safe routes to school, Florida City Elementary and Robert R. Modem Elementary, if that's at 100%. Again, later I'll show you the locations, but generally these safe routes to school applications, what their intention is to provide at least one sidewalk that includes ADA curb ramps, ADA compliant curb ramps and crosswalks on at least one side of the roadway, so that children have a means to a route to get to school. And then last but not least is another bridge repair project. And this one aligns with, as Eric mentioned in comments, William Lehman Causeway. We actually are doing a feasibility study, just so everyone knows. We're working on a feasibility study of providing providing bike and pedestrian, separated bike and pedestrian facility on William Lehman Causeway. So, but that again is not included in this project. This project will create the same typical section as was existing. And this one is just for bridge repair. You can go to the next slide. And you can see here, this is the proposed mid-block crossing at 189th Street. As you can see, prior to us putting this in, or prior to in the current condition, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have the signal. Thus, as you can imagine, seeing the configuration here, it would be very difficult to cross. So what we're doing is we're adding something that's signalized so that cars will stop and that free flow movement will stop as well. We can go to the next slide. And then this is that depiction that I mentioned I hope to see more of within our future projects. And this is a resurfacing project on A1A, and this is near 36th Street. What I like to see here is that we are actually creating kind of a bulb out here to actually shorten the crossing distance. And it also brings the person waiting on either side a little closer to the point of view, or so that as people are driving, they can clearly see the pedestrian waiting in the crosswalk, so that hopefully they'll be encouraged to stop even more than without it. So this is a nice feature, and I hope to see something more like this. Now, as Eric mentioned in comment, technically it is legal to cross wherever there's an intersection. That is legal to cross. However, in this sort of configuration, it'd be very difficult to do that, given there's no signal. So people, although it is quite legal to cross at any intersection. So you could see you could cross across A1A at 35th. It would be very dangerous to do that given the 3-lane roadway, and that there's no signal at that point. In order to create a safe crossing at those points, we would have to add a full signal across 35th or 36th to do that. And traffic ops has not deemed that it was warranted, unfortunately, at this time. I don't know if a study or evaluation was done to see about that, but at this point, that has not been done. We can go to the next slide. This is the Sunny Isles Beach Government Center to Beach Access pedestrian bridge. I know I've shown you all this in the past. Well, any of you that have been at the same meeting, you've seen this. And what I like about this is that they actually incorporated the channelized steel, or the steel bike tire channel that we recommended. So very happy to see that. And this also is going to include the stairwell and an elevator. But it's a nice added feature to have that, so that people can more easily walk their bike up the stairwell. We can go to the next slide. And then this is a short segment of the Collins Avenue project adjacent to Hollover Park. You can see here, you can see that shared use path on the one side here. I guess that would be on the east side, technically. And then, sorry, you can't see a north arrow on this picture, but it is the bottom of the screen is the east side. And then you can see that there is the buffered bike facility, and it does have the green conflict zones, and it does have a sidewalk on the west side. And yeah, it's going to have some landscaping, and going to be quite a beautiful project, hopefully by the end. Unfortunately, the segment doesn't, this project segment does not cross the bridge. It's just shy of the bridge, but perhaps in the future we can just add to this and connect it fully. All right, and we can go to the next slide. This is your general locations. Now the red blocks are the locations where the lab project is doing the safe routes to school improvements. And I wanted to share all of this just so you could see the areas that are being improved. And again, like I had mentioned, the improvements within these safe routes to school typically include filling in a sidewalk gap, at least on one side of the roadway, and upgrading the crosswalks and curb ramps to ADA compliance. All right, we can go to the next slide. So that is the Robert Moten, and then this is the Florida City locations. All right, we can go to the next slide. And then the next is just, we're continuing. I just want to give you an update. We are continuing to work on the bike network plan. Right now we're working on, technically we're working on the prioritization, and we're working on what factors will contribute to the prioritization. And then we can go to the next slide, which should be the final slide. Thank you all. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
And Tiffany, I believe Eric sent you an email this yesterday regarding his comments, right?
Yes, he did. And I addressed a couple of them in the meeting today, just now, but I will make sure to for all of those that were questions, I'll make sure to respond with the answers if whether I did or did not today. And for any of the ones that were comments, I will make sure to forward the comments to the respective person.
Okay.
Hello, I have a few points I'd like to bring up. That point on Collins Avenue, there were 7 blocks between 38.5 and 31.7 street, roughly. In other words, they were mid-block crossings. So there was 7 blocks between crosswalks, and that is far too long. And that mid-block crosswalk will make it a little better. It'll make it 4 and 3, but 4 blocks is still a long way for somebody to walk as a pedestrian out of their way in order to cross the street.
Oh, I agree.
So they're not going to do that, and they're going to cross without a crosswalk. My view is if you have at least a crosswalk, the cars will realize that pedestrians are there. You did mention that legally it's permissible, but from a safety standpoint, it's hazardous.
Mm-hmm.
That's because the cars don't realize what the law is, and so a crosswalk, even if it's just 2 lines, at least gives the cars notice that there are pedestrians in the area. That was what I was trying to get at.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
There was one other point, and that was that when you have elevators at a bridge, you should be able to push your bike all the way into the elevator without having to turn it 90 degrees or jockey it around. You have to think that not everybody can throw their bike on their shoulder and climb up the stairs.
I get that. And we have pushed before. We have pushed to make those elevators slightly, to make them larger. And we have gotten some pushback because of the restrictions that they're under as far as right away in space. But I'll make sure to forward that comment on.
Yes, it's not so much that they have to be much larger, but there has to be at least 6 foot from where you enter to the far side so that you could just push your bike in and then go up in the elevator without having to turn your bike around in order to fit it in.
I hear you loud and clear.
All right. Thank you very much, Art, and thank you, Tiffany. The only announcement we have is, like I mentioned, the next workshop is on May 11th. And that being said, I don't think there's anything else we can to discuss. So Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for participating. Time right now is 6:41 and meeting is adjourned.